I'm just gonna shrug at all of this because I have no idea what the fuck they're hoping to get done with this.
But of course, the current problem remains the implicit suggestion that their policy to ban from games for forum violations after all. So what was March all about? I responded to all involved at EA asking if we can get a clear reply explaining what their current policy is. If it's the case right now that misbehaving on the forums affects your Origin gaming, then we desperately want to be able to warn you about this. Not least because we assured you the opposite was right. Assured you opposite 8 months ago when EA told us this. I think it would be safe to say that there is EA's current. Yeah, I think it would be safe to say that were this EA's current policy, we would strongly advise our readers to go nowhere near the EA forums for fear of errant ban directly affecting their ability to play Battlefield 3 and every other game they've purchased.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great way of taking care of this thing.
For now, until we receive clarification, I think it's safe to assume that this is the case. It's also worth noting that these forum violations are pretty stringent. Excuse me. If quoting another person's use of E-peen is enough to see a ban, and in this guy's case a permanent ban, then they need to make their guidelines pretty damn clear. Especially as it currently has such a dramatic effect to be banned, although more importantly, a proper distinction needs to be drawn between the forums and Origin. Rosenberg stresses how much he urges those being affected to call the number stated above. Unfortunately, it's a US number, so would be an international call for many involved, and I've asked for a European equivalent. The other issue there is the Get Human page for that number reports the average wait time is 79 minutes, although skewed by one report of 400 minutes, and probably closer to around 30. So that's where we are at the moment. Still working on it. That was November 17th. There is one more, I believe. Where is it?
Wait, you're kidding me? It's less than a month ago? Jeez.
Yep. And yes, here's the most recent one, the last story in the EA saga here so far. EA Origin Bans Update Edition. To keep you up to date on the status of our investigation of EA's dubious banning players from accessing their Origin account games, mostly multiplayer, although we're hearing exceptions, we have no news. Unfortunately, despite repeated attempts to receive a statement on EA's current position on their banning procedure, we have been met with silence for the last fortnight. Some initial responses, pointing affected customers toward the support lines, we received an ambiguous statement that avoided the current issue rather said that there were plans to review whatever the current secret policy might be. And then no responses to our email sent. All the while, we're hearing the case after case of customers being affected. I'm building up quite a portfolio of affected games who find after a forum violation they've been unable to access Origin games, and within this is a more disturbing trend. Those who are finding that their forum bans are, without explanation, becoming permabans. Permanent bans are from accessing their Origin accounts, their Battlelog accounts, and therefore downloading purchased games and playing online, something which obviously raises serious questions about consumer rights, which is of course another angle we're currently investigating. This is kinda how the pattern goes. Person says naughty word on EA forum. Person receives 72-hour ban on the forums, which blocks Origin too. Person contacts EA customer support and is told tough shit. Person writes the rock, paper, scissors. With the occasional addition of, person finds their ban has become permanent with no warning and no option of appeal.
Ugh.
Of those people who contact us, we tend to get two types. The first who write invective, speckled fury on the forum, and then to us, and obviously entirely deserve the forum ban. On the second, there are those who have done absolutely nothing wrong on the forums, but are punished erroneously, either for quoting an insult someone has called them, or doing nothing offensive whatsoever. But neither group, according to EA's words to us in March, should be banned from Origin or accessing their games. A statement, however, that EA doesn't appear to be willing to repeat 9 months on. So, there's this guy, Rob, who's accused of posting a commercial to his support site. We've been over this. A site that EA links to itself on its own support site FAQ. He gets a ban. James is permanently banned. until his account mysteriously popped back to life recently, with no communication from anyone, for saying EPing. We've heard from Alex, who put a sweary joke on the forum, not related to Sweary 69. Yeah. But directed at, and it wasn't even directed at anyone, but found himself locked out of his games. Toma got in touch to say that after previous bans for what sound like entirely unacceptable forum posts, months later, he has now found himself banned because of his Gravatar logo, a Reddit troll face. Huh? Pointing out that one of the main devs at EA uses the Me Gusta face, got nowhere. And he has been told that he'll learn of his account's fate in 7 days, so certainly longer than the traditional 72-hour ban, potentially permanent. Most exceptional, perhaps, is Aaron, after receiving a 72-hour ban, was told by EA support that they couldn't help because, quote, the game developers controlled it. What?!
What the fuck?
What?
Okay, what? Rewind, go back.
Yeah, so
Okay.
most exceptional, perhaps, is Aaron, who, after receiving a 72-hour ban, was told by EA support that they couldn't help him because the game developers control this.
What?
That's a lot of
What the
bullshit.
Anyways,
shitting in the bowl on that.
well, let's just pretend that it was a newbie and first day on the job. What was his crime? Someone else swearing on the forum with his username in the post.
What?
This guy Aaron was banned because someone said his name in a post that contained swearing.
Are you talking about the maximum tacos?
Yes, Aaron.
Okay.
Trying the live chat support instead, he was then informed that his account was permanently banned, and that all property, items, and characters associated currently will or soon be deleted. Bitch.
What?
Followed by, is there anything else I can do for you?
You can just shoot yourself in the head.
Money grubbing and stealing sons.
Be right back, stabbing people.
Aaron tried again, pointing out that forum bans shouldn't affect games, and then came this incredible reply, quote, please be informed that your account not only is suspended, but is also banned. You will no longer play the game in single player. End quote. Aaron chronicles his adventures on a link provided. At this point, with no reply from those within EA, who have responded to this matter in the past, we can only suggest that our readers avoid the EA forums at all costs. The chances of being banned are pretty much more than guaranteed and too risky, when the consequences for that loss are access of the products that you have paid for, which you could have used your money for to pay the bills, buy food for the dog, or hire a hooker.
So basically the EA support system right now basically kills your whole life system.
Yep. So, and RockPaperShotgun is not the only ones looking into the legality of this matter.